Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Master Rank 9 test. This is actually a test that people struggle with a lot because it's a stealth test, but I put together a way that makes it really easy, especially for players who've like kind of just jumped into the game, got their first little set of melee elemental mods, and maybe have just crafted the Orphos. So it's basically like, you just pick up like a very common weapon and you throw on a bunch of really common mods that people wouldn't really tell you to go for, but can really benefit you whenever you're jumping into this master rank test, I guess. So if you go ahead, go into the arsenal, you can be playing any frame. Really, all it comes down to is having the Orphos or pretty much any polearm, and then copying a build similar to this. Now, this is a very thrown together build. Like, this is just like assuming that you haven't got things which are better than this type of build. But basically what it is you have pressure point on here for more damage, you have fury on here for attack speed, and then you have reach to up the range on your Orphos. So every single swing of your Orphos is going to cover more range, which means you can kill enemies from further away or through walls or whatever. And then you throw on all of your elemental damage, so Fever Strike, Shocking Touch, whatever, and then Molten Impact on top, and that's just going to give you more overall damage, right? And you stack on more damage by using dual stat elemental mods. It's basically like Shocking Touch, except you get 30% less total damage from this mod, but you also get 60% status chance on top of that. And status chance is basically like the chance to proc like an electricity proc, so like to shock the enemy or whatever, depending on the elements you have on. So we'll talk a little bit more about status in my beginner guide videos and stuff like that, because I do plan on remaking my beginner guide videos for 2018. So in that series, we're going to talk a little bit more about damage whenever it gets reworked, but there's no real point about talking a lot about damage now. But put it this way, having these elemental mods on is going to up your damage and make it so you can one-hit the enemies in this level, and plan you can't one-hit them anyway. So this is just the build that I like to go for. So what's important is you have on reach, you have pressure point, you have fury, and you have at least one elemental combo, so Fever Strike and Shocking Touch, and then you should be good to go. So we're just going to go ahead, jump into this test. I'm actually going to go ahead and color my Orphos just to make sure that it matches the color of my Ember, because I'm not going to swap them, what's it called? Excalibur for this one. Just because I want to play as Ember because she looks pretty. But this is just a stealth test. It's all about staying out of line of sight of the enemies and stuff like that. So we're basically going to be killing the enemies before they even get a chance to see us, okay? So I'm going to be doing this pretty fast, and doing this fast, in my opinion, is probably the best way to do it. So you're going to spawn in, you bring out your Orphos, and the best way to do this is actually sliding. So slide, and then do this, and then rush to the enemies that spawn in, and then you can jump over the heads of other enemies, and then slide and then stab them in the back, and then that's your first stage done. So this is split into 3 different stages. So if we go ahead and we do this one, we have an enemy that's going to spawn up over here. We're going to kill him first, and we're just going to land on top of his head and do like a nice little slam attack. Then we have an enemy who spawns over here. We're going to land on his head, do a slam attack. We have this guy down here. We get him. We jump up into the air again, and then we can look down, see where the last enemy is, and then we can just slam on his head, and then he's dead. So that's the second stage done. And now we move on to the third stage. Third stage is rather easy. So we're going to go up the right-hand side over this way. We're going to kill this guy right here. We're going to jump over that guy's head. We're going to slam down in this guy's head, or just do that stealth attack. Jump way back in the air. And then these last 3 enemies, those 3 right there that goes in like a little diagonal line, what's going to happen is they're going to grip up in the middle. So we're going to kill this guy. And then these, well, that guy didn't grip up in the middle, but there's these 2 enemies here. We're going to kill them just by sliding near them. And then we're just going to finish off this guy by coming over and stab him in the back. So pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't know how else I can kind of like explain that, but just jump up in the air and then the enemies won't be able to see you. And if you have primed reach, that makes this even easier because you can basically slide attack enemies through walls. And yeah, so that might be a little fast for newer players, but if you just like look at it and kind of look at my movement and kind of realize what you can do with the movement just to avoid being detected, then you should be good to go. Now, I'm not too sure if like you have to kill enemies before they see dead bodies or anything like that, but if you're doing it fast enough, like I did, then it should be pretty straightforward. You have 3 attempts at that, so you can get caught 3 times, and pretty straightforward, at least in my opinion. So just bring a polearm. Really, any melee weapon works, but polearm just makes sense to me because you can throw reach on it, and you can just kill enemies through walls if you really, need to. Like, if you want to hide behind the wall and, like, take your time, you can definitely do that, but it's kind of down to you what you want to do and how you want to play. But other than that, that is really it for the Master Rank 9 test. 1 dirt per video. Gotta bring that back in 2018. But yeah, that's it for the Master Rank 9 test. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead, hit that like button below. And if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.